sometimes the reasons that people like things are just a little bit weird, right? I mean, take sandwiches, for instance. A lot of people love the, top three, right? Peanut butter and jelly, ham and cheese, a Philly cheesesteak. I mean, people love those sandwiches, but sometimes somebody likes something a little bit different than you. Maybe something a little bit off the wall. I had a coworker one time that swore the best sandwich ever created was a peanut butter, pickle, and mayonnaise sandwich. I used to tell him all the time how disgusting that sounded. It was just, there's no reason why those things, they make no sense. Like, why? Why would you even mix that? And he explained it as an explosion of juices in his mouth, which is an entirely different story, but sometimes you got to try it before you knock it, right? Not everybody's always going to agree. Kind of like fantasy football and rankings, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And let's see what happens. Maybe he's right. Maybe sometimes it is better if we just take somebody else's suggestion from time to time. Oh, he was wrong. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there today. We're talking about some quarterback rankings. Yeah, we got the top 25 quarterbacks for 2020 fantasy football, but we're going to do this ranking show just a little bit differently. I have my top 25 quarterbacks along with Kyle's top 25 quarterbacks and the current consensus top 25 quarterbacks, so you can see all across the board where we differ slightly, and we're not going to waste any time. We're getting right into the top 25 right now. All right, so here you see it, Kyle's, mine, and the consensus top 25 quarterbacks right now, and I'm going to talk my way through my rankings just to give you guys the reasons why I have them where I do. So number one, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. I did bump him up. I had Mahomes as my number one for majority of the offseason, but Lamar Jackson and that rushing upside in fantasy football is just too much to ignore. I love Patrick Mahomes. If I could put both of them at number one, I would, because I think they both have a great year once again. Lamar Jackson and that rushing upside just squeaks him by here by the narrowest of margins. Number two, Patrick Mahomes. I still think he's probably one of the best pure throwers of the football. He can make any throw on the field. He's got plenty of weapons at his disposal. Love Patrick Mahomes. Number three, Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals. And this guy was a quarterback one his rookie year in the NFL. And now he adds DeAndre Hopkins in the second year of that air raid offense. I'm excited for Kyler Murray to go out there and put up some huge numbers. Plus, once again, that rushing upside. Number four, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. Look at the trio of wide receivers this guy has. I mean, he's got Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Zeke Elliott in the backfield, and a decent offensive line who's taken some hits here this year. He could potentially have three guys that could go out there and get 1,000 yards this year. You got to love Dak Prescott. Got him at number four. Number five is going to be Mr. Unlimited himself, Russell Wilson, and the guy is just super solid when it comes to fantasy football, right? He's one of those guys that you can kind of just bank on a weekly basis. The ceiling isn't overly high. The floor isn't low by any means. You love Russell Wilson. They're still going to pound the rock on the ground, but we do love DK Metcalf this year, so I got Russell Wilson right here, number five. Number six, Drew Brees, New Orleans Saints, and I mean, we've been talking about this division for a long time, right? Like a long time. I love the Saints, love the Falcons, I love the Buccaneers. I don't love the Carolina Panthers, but there's a lot of offense in this division here this year in the NFL. And Drew Brees, now that there's talks of an Alvin Kamara holdout, I don't think that happens, but Drew Brees is going to have to throw the ball a lot this year. Got him as my quarterback six. Number seven, his division rival, Matt Ryan. We know the Falcons are going to throw the ball. They throw the ball almost more than anybody else every year in the NFL. That's not going to change this year, and we all love Calvin Ridley, right? They brought in Hayden Hurst to fill the Austin Hooper role. I like myself some Matt Ryan once again here in 2020. Number eight, Desean Watson. Not going to lie. Desean Watson could finish third or fourth in the rankings if his wide receivers can stay healthy this year. You got Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller, Randall Cobb. None of those guys are like models of health by any means, whatsoever. So if they can stay healthy, Desean Watson's going to have a monster year. If those guys start getting, dinged up and hurt, I'm a little bit worried about Desean Watson. So because of the risk of his wide receivers, got him dropped down a few spots, got him at number 8. Number 9, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. They've added Stephon Diggs. They're going to start throwing the ball a little bit more. They have an awesome offensive line. The reason why I maybe have him a little bit lower than some of the other people, I think they have a lot of second half leads this year, and they really rely on the running game, not having to throw all 4 quarters in Buffalo. Still love Josh Allen. Kind of hope that rushing upside returns a little bit more here in 2020, but still a solid quarterback 1. Got him right here at number 9. Number 10, Cam Newton of now the New England Patriots, and that's still weird to say, but the Patriots defense isn't as good as it was last year. They're going to have to throw this year in New England. And the running game, what is the running game going to be? Is it Lamar Miller? Is it Damian Harris? Is it Sonny Michel? What is it? It's inefficient is what it is, because James White's still going to be involved out of that backfield, but you got Julian Edelman, N'Keal Harry, which we don't love. Maybe Mohamed Sanu is a surprise here this year, but they're going to have to throw in Carolina. And Cam looks healthy. He looks like he could return to form a little bit. He's going to call his number right there on the goal line. I like Cam Newton as a fringe quarterback 1 this year. Got him at quarterback 10. 11, Carson Wentz, Philadelphia Eagles. And once again, he's already kind of banged up. And that's the biggest thing with Carson Wentz. If this dude could stay 100% healthy, well, then again, it's Philadelphia. Like, nobody stays healthy in Philadelphia. I mean, who's he throwing to now? I mean, Jalen Reagor, banged up. Alshon Jeffrey, banged up. I mean, there's always issues with injuries in Philadelphia. If they could stay healthy for a year, they're in the Super Bowl possibly again. They just can't ever stay healthy. Wentz is banged up right now, got him fringe quarterback 1 because the potential is there. Something we need to monitor here over the next week or so to make sure we're good to go with Carson Wentz. What about number 12? Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers, the lowest maybe he's been ranked in a decade. And part of it is because they're super reliant on the run game in Green Bay. And they're going to be once again here this year. He's got Devontae Adams and Allen Lazard. Like, that's about it. He just doesn't have the abundance of weapons that he's had in the past. And I'm going to drop him down a few spots just because of the heavy usage they're going to have there on the ground. Number 13, Tom Brady. And honestly, Tom Brady could probably swap spots with Aaron Rodgers here before the start of the season, because once again, they're going to throw the ball, right? I mean, what is the running game going to look like in Tampa Bay? Do you really trust Ronald Jones? I mean, I've seen numerous clips in camp where, they're throwing the ball to Jones out of the backfield and he's dropping it. And Brady just looks disgusted. How long are they going to allow that? How many blitz pickups is it going to take for him to miss and let Tom Brady get hit before he's no longer a thing? It worries me, and they're going to have to throw the ball a lot, and he's got plenty of weapons to throw to. Got Tom Brady at 13. Number 14, Matthew Stafford, and he seems to be back to full health, which is a great thing because he was on a tear last year before he got injured. Love Matthew Stafford and the potential to really air it out this year. If DeAndre Swift can get healthy, he'll really take that passing game out of the backfield to the next level, only helping Matthew Stafford even more. Number 15, The Bake Show. Baker Mayfield, actually it's Bake Sale this year, right? Because he's a little bit cheaper maybe than last year. But I think a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth because of last year. They probably took a bite of that sandwich and then looked at Baker Mayfield because you just don't, have that oozing confidence with Baker Mayfield this year. However, remember, a lot of the pressure is going to be taken off him here this year because they're going to be a lot more reliant on the running game with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. He still has Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, David Njoku, and Austin Hooper to throw to. Those are some pretty good weapons, and if that running game can really open up the offense, look for those guys to be wide open in single coverage because they're going to have to put more defenders in the box to stop Chubb and Hunt. I don't hate Baker Mayfield. Do I want him to be my quarterback 1? Hopefully, if you're in a Superflex league, he's your quarterback 2, possibly. But, in a pinch, Baker Mayfield could have some seriously big games here in 2020. Next, Derek Carr. And I may be higher on Derek Carr than maybe anybody in the industry. He's just a dude that goes out, throws for 4,000 yards, and then everybody hates and debates whether he's going to have a job or not. I mean, he did that last year with Tyrell Williams, and that's it at the wide receiver position. He had Darren Waller, but now he's got more options. Bryan Edwards there now. Darren Waller still there. I mean, they brought in Henry Ruggs through the draft also. He's got more options. Josh Jacobs out of the backfield could definitely be more involved in the passing game on a weekly basis, and that's only going to take more pressure off a Carr. The one thing that's really held him back from some serious, fantasy football points is touchdowns. Now, he's got a few playmakers in this offense. If that touchdown number gets any boost whatsoever, the dude is a fringe quarterback 1. I got him at 16. 17 is Jimmy G of the San Francisco 49ers. I love Jimmy G this year. Absolutely love it. What I don't love is the inability for the wide receivers to stay healthy in San Francisco. That's a problem. Now, I'm not overly concerned because it doesn't sound like there's anything earth-shattering injury-wise in San Francisco that's going to prevent these guys from playing, half the season or more. They're going to be there at the start of the season, maybe not week 1, maybe week 2, week 3, but that gives plenty of opportunity for Jimmy G to go out there and put up great fantasy numbers. I love the offense run by Kyle Shanahan and the ability to involve the running backs out of the backfield. Jimmy G is a sneaky pick this year, and if Debo and Ayuk and Kittle are all healthy to start week 1, Jimmy G is going to surprise a lot of people. I got him at 17. 18, Drew Lock. Now, I'm pretty sure I have Drew Lock higher than almost everybody also, and I did a must-have video on him. I think he's a steal at the end of drafts. They have Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. We know about Noah Fant. We've got Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay in the backfield. KJ Hamler waiting in the wings. There's options for him now in Denver, and he put up some pretty good numbers with just basically Cortland Sutton last year. Now they've given him some weapons there, and I love Drew Lock to go out and put up some huge points. Got him at 18. 19, old man Phillip Rivers, now in Indianapolis, and I don't hate that one bit. You got T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell, Michael Pittman, Jack motherfucking Doyle. You got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield and one of the best offensive lines in football. He doesn't have to wing it 50 yards down the field. He can nickel and dime you to death, and he has the pieces to do it. I like Phillip Rivers at number 19. 20 is Ryan Tannehill, Tennessee Titans, and last year this dude was the model of efficiency, almost record-breaking efficiency for Ryan Tannehill between him and A.J. Brown, but this offseason didn't really add any weapons for him in the passing game that are, earth-shattering by any means. And I have a feeling that defenses are just going to, put a safety over the top of A.J. Brown, try to take him away, and force Tannehill to go somewhere else. If that's the case, those efficiencies may not be what they were last year, so I got to drop him down because I just don't see him replicating those same numbers. Got him right now at number 20. Number 21, my spirit animal, Gardner Menshu. I would love to put this guy higher. The problem is the Jaguars are just going to suck, but the good part about that is they're going to be throwing all 4 quarters every week because their defense is absolutely obliterated. Now, Gardner Menshu is making a climb up these rankings. He could be somebody who is start-worthy here in Fantasy Football 2020 a couple times throughout the year just because garbage points, right? Garbage points win matchups, and they're going to throw the ball a lot. No more Leonard Fournette. Who's the running game going to be? Maybe Chris Thompson, cool, because he excels in the passing game, which only helps Gardner Menshu. You got DJ Chark on the outside, who's going to probably get 612 targets at this point. I don't dislike Gardner Menshu. He's on the rise. Got him right now at 21. 22 is Daniel Jones, New York Giants. He is surrounded by talent himself. You got the young Darius Slayton, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram, if he can ever stay healthy, Saquon Barkley in the backfield, and now Jason Garrett calling the plays. He could put up some solid fantasy numbers. I mean, we saw at times last year him really surprise a lot of people and make some difficult throws. The guy finished as a quarterback 1 numerous times in 2019. He could do it again in 2020. Right now, got him at 22. 23 is Big Ben, and he's climbing up the rankings. The only reason he's really not higher is I haven't really seen him throw with any torque on his elbow yet. Yeah, he's out there throwing the ball, making some passes, but he's not putting anything really behind it. I want to see that before I put him higher. If he is 100% healthy and fully able to go out there and throw the ball like he did, just a few years ago, he's going to climb up these rankings because I love what he has to throw to in Juju, Deontay Johnson, James Washington. They got plenty of pieces there. Eric Ebron in the red zone. I'll be all over the Ben Roethlisberger train if we can see him healthy. Right now, I just haven't seen him a full 100%. What about 24? Jared Goff. Another mess in the backfield, right? You got Cam Akers, a banged-up Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown, a horrible offensive line. So this run game could seriously struggle, and if it does, they're going to throw the ball a lot. The problem right now, Cooper Kupp also banged up. So that leaves Bobby Trees, and I'm seeing some good things out of camp from Van Jefferson. Now, that's a different story in itself, but he's going to have options, is Jared Goff, and Sean McVay is still an offensive guy. They're going to find ways to move the ball down the field. Maybe not like how they did just a few years ago, but they're still going to throw the ball a lot. That's why I got Jared Goff inside my top 25 at 24. 25 is Teddy Bridgewater, and I can't talk about this division the way that I do and not include Teddy Bridgewater because he's going to be involved in shootouts nonstop, And he's also going to be one of those guys who's going to be eligible for garbage points on a weekly basis. A lot of difficult matchups just in his division against the Bucs, the Saints, and the Falcons. That's 6 games a year right there that you can pretty much pencil him in for throwing all 4 quarters. Don't forget they lost Luke Kuechly on the defense, and overall the defense is super weak. They're not going to be able to stop too many teams. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. In Carolina, got Teddy B as my number 25 quarterback. All right, so those are my top 25 quarterbacks. You saw Kyle's on the screen. You saw the consensus rankings on the screen. And then you kind of saw where we differed a little bit here and there. Don't forget, similar to the sandwich, situation at the beginning of the show, it's rankings and everybody sees something different. That's okay to have different rankings. If all of our rankings matched, how boring would fantasy football be? Kind of look at each person's situation. Maybe take a little bit away from each player and try to build the best rankings that you possibly can for your team and your league settings. None of us are ever going to match. We're just trying to make sure that we present all the information so that you yourself, the team owner, can make the best possible choices as we lead into the 2020 fantasy football season. So like I said, I'm sure your rankings may be different. You may see some of these names and be like, there's no way I would put him up there. Cool. Put it down in the comment section down below, maybe where you would move people around, but don't just say, this is stupid, I would never do that. Kind of say why you would do something. Start to put a story behind the reason that you're making the pick that you're doing. Everybody has opinions, and they're great. Just doesn't mean that anybody's wrong yet because the season hasn't happened. So put those down below in the comment section. We would love to try to, communicate back and forth with you, the community. Just a quick reminder, the season is right around the corner. And as you can tell in all of our videos, we're getting thousands and thousands of comments a week. As much as I would love to go through all those comments, I just don't have the time. Myself and Kyle, there's no way we can get to all of them. So we've kind of opened up Patreon for an opportunity for that. Under the $10 tier and above, you're guaranteed answers to all your fantasy football questions throughout the year. So if that's something you're looking for, where you want to make sure that you get those answers on a weekly basis, head over to patreon.com. The link is down below in the description. That's where you can get that, that peace of mind if that's what you're looking for here this year in 2020. But hopefully you enjoyed the rankings. If you did, hit the subscribe button. We got a lot more coming your way here this week. We greatly appreciate the support, and we'll talk to you later.